the function is given as negative 3x squared minus 2x. F of x equals negative 3x squared minus 2x. What are x-intercepts, if any? What is the y-intercept? 3. What is the vertex? 4. Substitute x equals x1 equals negative 2. What is y1? 5. Substitute x equals x2 equals negative 4. What is y2? Find the average rate of change of the function from x equals negative 2 to x equals negative 4. Plot the graph. Rough sketch will do. So for the input x, f of x equals negative 3x squared minus 2x. What are x-intercepts, if any? All right. For x-intercept, you set y equal to 0. If you set y equal to 0, you say 0 equals negative 3x squared minus 2x. And don't forget, what is not visible is c, and that is to be put as 0. So immediately you see that a is equal to, if you compare this with ax squared plus bx plus c, we see that a is equal to, negative 3. So a equals negative 3. What is b? Negative 2. So this is, b is negative 2. And what is c? 0. So once you have a, b, and c, you know the solutions. Negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac, the whole thing divided by 2a. A can be positive or negative. A cannot be 0. B can be positive, negative, or 0. C can be positive, negative, or 0. Because A, B, and C can be negative or positive, why don't we just use parentheses? Same thing, right? All right, so you have f of x equals negative 3x squared minus 2x. To find x-intercepts, set y equal to 0 and solve for x. A equals negative 3, b equals negative 2, and c is equal to 0. So when you substitute for a, b, and c into this equation, what do we get? We get x equals negative b, negative of negative 2. What is b? Negative 2. Plus or minus square root of b squared, and what is b? B is negative 2. Minus 4ac. What is a? Negative 3. A is negative 3. How about c? C is 0. C is 0. So immediately we see that this whole thing will go to 0. All right, so that's what we have here. All right. And then what is square of negative 2? It is positive 4. So you have 2. What is negative of negative 2? Positive 2. So 2 plus or minus square root of 4 minus 0 divided by negative 6. And that is the same as 2 plus or minus. What is square root of 4? It is 2. So 2 plus or minus 2 divided by negative 6. How did we get negative 6? It is 2 times a. What is a? Negative 3. So what is 2 times negative 3? Negative 6. So that's what we have here, negative 6. Our solutions for x is given by 2 plus or minus 2 divided by negative 6. That branches into two solutions, either 2 plus 2 divided by negative 6 or 2 minus 2 divided by negative 6. What is 2 plus 2? 4. 4 divided by negative 6 is negative 0.67. What about 2 minus 2? 0, and 0 divided by anything is 0. So what are our x-intercepts? Negative 0.670 and 0, 0. So these are the points where the graph touches the x-axis. On the x-axis, what is so special? On the x-axis, y is always equal to 0. And that's how we solve for x. So we have negative 0.670 and 0, 0 as our x-intercepts. So we have our x-intercepts. So number 1 is done. Let's do number 2. What is the y-intercept? What is the y-intercept? You substitute x equals 0. So f of x equals negative 3x squared minus 2x. And in the space occupied by x, you substitute 0. And what do we have? 0. So what is our y-intercept? It is 0, 0. That is the point where the graph touches the y-axis. So what is the y-intercept? 0, 0. So minus 3x squared minus 2x is our function. Substitute x equals 0. And in the space occupied by x, we substitute 0. And we get 0. So our point on the graph paper is 0, 0. That is our y-intercept. All right. Now, what is next? Number 3, the vertex. F of x equals negative 3x squared minus 2x. The vertex has, what is the vertex? H equals negative b over 2a. Negative of b. What is b? b is negative 2. The whole thing divided by 2 times, what is a? a is negative 3. And that is negative 1 over 3. And that is negative 0.33. H equals negative b over 2a. So you get negative 0.33. After we find h, we substitute x equals h into the function that is given. And what do we get? Negative 3x squared minus 2x at x equals negative 0.33. Is k, which is 0.3333. So we have h equals negative 0.33 and k equals 0.3333. So we have h and k, and we have the vertex. So we plot all those points, and so far our graph kind of looks like this. So we have x-intercept, y-intercept, vertex. Now let's do number 4. X equals, substitute x equals negative 2. So f of x equals negative 3x squared minus 2x. Substitute x equals negative 2, and what do we get? Substitute x equals negative 2. So this is negative 3 times 4 plus 4. This is negative 12 plus 4, and that is negative 8. So when x equals negative 2, y equals negative 8. When x equals negative 2, y equals negative 8. So this is x1, y1. Substitute x equals negative 2, and you get negative 8, negative 2, negative 8. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's substitute x equals negative 4. F of x equals negative 3x squared minus 2x. So what happens when we substitute x equals negative 4? In the space occupied by x, we substitute negative 4, and what do we get? Negative 3 times 16 plus 8. Negative 48 plus 8, and that is negative 40. So when x equals negative 4, what do we get for y2? Negative 40. And we get negative 40. So the point is negative 4, negative 40. What is left? The average rate of change of the function. So you have x1, y1, x2, y2. What is x1? Negative 2. What is y1? Negative 8. What is x2? Negative 4. What is y2? Negative 40. Your average rate of change of the function is actually y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And that is equal to, what is y2? y2 is negative 40. What is y1? Negative 8. x2, negative 4. And what is x1? Negative 2. So this is negative 40 plus 8 divided by negative 4 plus 2. So that's what I did here. Negative 40 plus 8 divided by negative 4 plus 2. And so that is negative 32 divided by negative 2, which is 16. All right, so here is x1, y1, here is x2, y2, and here is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Do the algebra and you get 16. Plot the graph. So we have 1 through 6. What is left? Plot the graph. And roughly that's how the graph looks like. And this is George Mathew signing off. Good luck.